Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'll be starting off the first of a series of uploads showcasing the various empires within the world we've created, beginning with the Vallean Republic. Just quickly for those who don't know, a couple of friends and I have spent the last 2 years creating a South Asian inspired Dungeons and Dragons setting called the Guru's Teaching of Bharaja, aka InD&D. Traditionally, Dungeons and Dragons has been a very Eurocentric and Tolkien-esque affair, so we thought we'd create something a little bit different. If you'd like to learn more about why we've done what we've done, our previous video details our motivations for the project, so feel free to check that out if you'd like to. As I mentioned in that video, my family and I watched documentaries on the Indus Valley or Harappan Civilization, and the Vallean Republic is heavily inspired by them. The Indus Valley Civilization is one of the earliest in mankind's history, dating back roughly 5,000 years. I'm going to go through what I think are some of the coolest aspects of the civilization, and then hopefully you'll be able to see how that relates to the Vallean Republic later in the video. So the Indus Valley Civilization is probably most well known for its urban planning, which was well ahead of its time. Cities within the empire featured a grid-based town planning system where streets cut across from each other virtually at right angles, meaning you effectively had rectangular city blocks many millennia ago. The structures within the empire were constructed using uniform baked bricks which were made using mud from the river. This mud was compressed into wooden molds and then baked in the sun or kilns to harden. These bricks were moisture resistant, which not only came in handy for building houses, but also for controlling and directing water. Through the precise laying of these bricks, the civilization went on to possess the world's first known urban sanitation system, which included advanced water supply and even underground drainage. Individuals are able to attain water from public wells, urban areas included both public and private baths, and here's the kicker, each home had its own flushing toilet which moved wastewater into underground drains. The Indus Valley Civilization is also where the switch from foraging to farming and pastoralism occurred within the region. Using radiocarbon dating, research teams have found evidence of wheat, barley, peas, lentils and linseed being grown in the summer, whilst rice, millet, sesame and tropical beans were grown during the winter. Early Harappan communities migrated from villages to cities, and the early Harappan period can be characterized by the construction of large walled settlements and the integration of regional communities into a uniform material culture. The largest cities in the civilization were called Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, which grew to contain between 30,000 and 60,000 individuals. By 2002, 1,000 Harappan cities and settlements had been reported, and the entire civilization is said to have contained a population between 1 and 5 million people. Although some houses were larger than others, the Indus civilization cities seemed pretty remarkable for their egalitarianism. All houses had access to water and drainage facilities, which gives the impression of low wealth concentration and equality. Archaeological records provide no immediate answers for centralized power or depictions of individuals in power, but there are obvious examples of complex decisions being made and implemented. Whether it be the well-planned out grid system of the cities, the decision to use uniform baked bricks, the construction of drainage systems, or the presence of public facilities, there must have been some sort of centralized authority. There are citadels present in the Indus cities which could represent some form of authority, but their purpose remains debated. There's no conclusive evidence of palaces, temples, kings, armies, or priests. The working theories are that the Indus civilization was a single state, there was no single ruler, but each city instead had its own individual ruler, and this society seems like a pretty egalitarian one. All in all, not bad for one of the first civilizations in human history. Astonishingly advanced for its time on both a social and technological front, and just from doing the research, it seems like if you were alive at the time, this would not be a bad place to live at all. And when you put it in perspective, the Victorians didn't have a sewer system in London until the late 1800s, which they only did after a shit ton, pardon the pun, of cholera outbreaks. The fact you could take a dump and flush it away 5,000 years ago just blows my mind. Anyway, now you've seen the inspiration, onto the Vallean Republic. Located in the northwest, the Vallean Republic is not only the oldest empire in Bharaja, but the sole democratic system within the region. Each city elects its own representative who frequently travels to the empire's centrally located capital city of Lokat, where parliamentary discussions take place in the city's citadel. There is no single ruler and elections for new officials take place every 5 years. Lokat has undergone a significant transformation under the city's currently elected leader Bharaja, who is serving her second term. During the early stages of her initial term, she witnessed a huge increase in attacks from foreign invaders upon the fringe villages of the empire. In response to what Posada saw as unnecessary bloodshed, she decided to embark on a radical urbanization process in order to create safer environments for the Vallean populace. Her vision was to take the relatively sparsely populated villages and cities dotted around the empire and bring these people together into newly formed megacities, the first of which being Locat. Over the course of her first term, what was once a moderately sized central hub of the Vallean Republic had been transformed into a gargantuan city of uniform fire-baked brick buildings with vast walls that line the city's perimeter, fending off potential threats. As well as additional safety, a secondary benefit to those who migrate to Locat is that they are able to enjoy the city's progressive technological advancements, many of which are the brainchild of Posada's brother, Sanama. Urban planning was a key feature from the outset of Locat's creation, where all buildings were organised in a well thought out grid system in which running water, underground drainage and sewage systems ran throughout. Inhabitants of Locat enjoyed a much higher quality of life than many across Bharaja, and these elements, as well as guaranteed brick homes, were enticing factors to migrate. A second city known as Tabadilli is undergoing the early stages of a similar megacity transition, and large-scale building developments are progressing at a rapid pace. However, not all are aligned with Posada's vision for uniformity in the form of megacities. Naraza is the largest settlement outside of Locat and Tabadilli, and its population is comprised of a sizable and vocal minority who do not wish to conform to urbanization. The leader of this settlement is Bharaja, who firmly believes that this new way of living is a deceptive way to monopolize crop supply, which will result in farmers receiving less income. She also values the individualization of each farming family and believes this uniqueness is what keeps these communities strong and strive for different forms of innovation. Regardless of Viroda or Naraza, Posada wants to hurry this process of uniformity and see her seemingly more utopia-esque society come to fruition, perhaps by any means necessary. And there you have it, that is the Vallean Republic. I think the inspiration from the Indus Valley Civilisation is pretty transparent, but I think we've struck a nice balance between homage and fantasy. Next up is the Vidaran Empire, but that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're interested in what we're doing, do hit that subscribe or follow button. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon.